Hello Internet! In this video I'm going to go over some of the more advanced features of SurfRig. First of all, let's start off with something that everybody's going to need to do sooner or later, editing a surface whose joints have already been skinned to a mesh. So you can see here that I'm eyeing an area where my deformation could be better. The lip joints they're going too far outside, they're not conforming enough to the inside of this character's mouth, which means that the surface needs to be pushed deeper. If I just grabbed CVs and moved them straight up, my bind pose would get very angry at me, for starters. But fear not, down here in step 6 you'll find the Safe Surface Editor tool. It's essentially a souped up move tool which takes care of all these potential issues. So I'm going to enter the tool and grab the CVs that I want and push them just a little bit deeper with the hope that the joints will follow the contours of the mouth a little bit better. Do the same thing for the lower lip surface as well, and all these changes are going to be mirrored over, and the joints are going to be as close as possible to their original position, and the skin cluster is going to be safely reapplied, so no need to worry about any of that. Now let's see how it looks. So now when I take this corner control and pull it back, yeah, that's much better. His lips, they conform to the teeth much better now. Now we're even getting some decent labial folding for such low resolution, so that's success. Alright, now next up is one of the biggest strengths of SurfRig, deformations. So currently this jaw control is not connected to anything for the lower lip surfaces. The easiest way to fix this would be to just plop the groups underneath the jaw control, but that would give us fairly rectangular deformations and there would be no fall off for the corners, so I don't want to do that. Instead, I am going to give my surfaces some Maya muscle spline deformers. I expect this to give me nice fall off along the corners as well as some cool squashing and stretching effects. Now, the reason that this is such a powerful aspect of SurfRig is because we can add lots of complexity to our surfaces which does not make it onto the exported FBX. For example, we can deform the surface and let the animation bake down to the joints. So I've made my deformations, just add the lower surfaces to them, fix their orientations with a little script that I made, and now I'm going to take the lower controls and just plop them under my jaw control. There we go. Alright, let's see how this looks. Alright, that works. And now on the model. Alright, so we've got some pretty nice squashing and stretching there. It's not quite right, of course, since the mouth isn't actually opening, but that's just a matter of painting some deformer weights. So I'm going to go paint those deformer weights and get right back. Alright, here we have our surfaces being driven by the jaw muscle system. You can see we lost a little bit of the squash around the top, but that's an acceptable trade-off for the nice fall-off that we're getting around the corners, and the fact that it works well with any transformation that we make to it. Alright, looks pretty good. And this is what it looks like on the surfaces, if you are curious. Okay, and next up, perhaps the most useful deformer of all, blend shapes. I use blend shapes for corrective and difficult poses on these surfaces, like in this case, the OO phoneme. So I've sculpted out OO shapes for 2 of my mouth surfaces, the left ones, and to mirror those shapes over, all I have to do is set the left shape's weights to 1, put the right side in edit mode in the new shape editor, which I very much like, and then press the rig selected button. Since there are no joints, it's not actually going to rig anything, but it still mirror the shapes over. So now we've got a pretty good looking shape here. But we also have 4 separate plugs for what's ultimately one pose, and they're still buried in the blend shape nodes. So to make them accessible, I'm going to use one of SurfRig's deformer tools. I just select the surfaces and hit Add Blend Shapes to Controls. Set that down. Add Blend Shapes to Controls. There it is. This allows each surface's blend shape weights to be set from its joint and parent controls. This only affects that control's surface, though. In this case, there are still 4 of them. For that, I need to select any surface whose inputs I want to merge, in this case all 4 of them, and hit Merge Blend Controls. Now this allows any of those surfaces' blend shapes to be set from any of their control objects. So I'm just selecting one control and affecting all 4 blend shapes just from that one. If 2 blend targets will share the same name, like in this case the OO, they'll all be set from the same source attribute. So now I can affect the entire OO phoneme from one channel, accessible from any mouth control. Might need to change the limits on it though. Alright, now finally I'd like to showcase the bulge and slide softmod control. Softmod and cluster deformers can be controlled easily with another one of SurfRig's deformer tools, and they have great effects. This one you can see I can use to create a kind of back and forth lip puff effect. Cool stuff. That about does it. Thanks for your interest, and happy rigging.